right, welcome to Power Talk. This week, we are continuing with our ongoing series on just what it takes to build and protect wealth. Now is your time for wealth, is what Standard Chartered is saying. But particularly this week, it's building and protecting generational wealth, particularly for family-owned businesses. So what are some of the solutions that exist for that here in the country, either local solutions or international as well? For this conversation on Power Talk this week, very glad to be joined by Paul Njoki, who's the head of Affluent Banking and Wealth Management at Standard Chartered. Nice to have you. Also with him is Bernard Kombo, who's the head of SME Banking, both from Standard Chartered. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on Power Talk this week. I'd like us to just begin with a bit of a recap, Paul. We've had you on the show before, Standard Chartered, and, one of the clarion calls that you have at the moment is that now is your time for wealth. Just give us a recap in terms of the expertise that you have in terms of helping clients invest and grow their wealth.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you for having me and my colleague Kombo. So Standard Chartered Bank has been serving clients across Asia, Middle East and Africa for the last 170 years, and particularly in Kenya for the last 100 years plus. And during that time, we've gotten a lot of experience working with families and seeing how wealth transitions from one generation to another. And we have seen mistakes, and also we've seen how it is done well. We have acquired a lot of expertise, of course, through the network of 53 countries and with 4 hubs, that is UAE, Jersey, Hong Kong, and Singapore. And that is helping us now to say that we need to bring this together and put us a call for Kenyans now. The other part of the conversation is that Kenya got its independence in 1963, and a generation of Kenyans have been very successful, both in employment, both in businesses and other areas. And their time has come to pass wealth to the next generation. So the country and across Africa, we are experiencing the first main or major wealth transfer that has ever happened. And we want to help our clients, we want to help Kenyans to be able to make that process as easy, as frictionless as possible. We know obviously some mistakes are being done, but we want to see how much can we avoid that. Yeah. So we want to bring our expertise from across the globe. We bring it out here in Kenya, and indeed now is the time for wealth.
Yeah, and you mentioned an interesting point about being in that transition for the first time since independence for homegrown, indigenous, family-owned businesses. So Bernard, why is SME banking important then, from your viewpoint at Standard Chartered when it comes to wealth management, particularly for those who've managed to build their family businesses?
Okay. Thanks, Yvonne, for having us. According to Africa Wealth Report 2024 by Henley and Partners, 60% of ultra-high net worth individuals draw their wealth from entrepreneurship. At Standard Chartered, we are uniquely placed and we understand the wealth needs of these individuals. We have the expertise to help them to be able to grow, protect, and transfer this wealth to the next generation. And that's why most of the SMEs run their business. They run their business to be able to transfer to the next generation and to survive that generation to the following generation.
Yeah. Yes. And interesting because it's, like you say, most of the wealth is created by entrepreneurs and by those in the SME sector. So let's stay with you, Bernard. So how is Standard Chartered structured to support these family-owned businesses?
Yeah, so as Standard Chartered, we have a team of experts, and these experts are well-trained and have been certified. And this team comprises of the relationship managers, investment advisors, and we ensure then as they do that, then they are supported by governance and legal teams to be able to provide the required services and advisory to SMEs and mostly business on enterprises. Now, with that also, we have Chief Investment Office that provides them with both local and international market outlook that gives them the information required to make the right decision at the required time. Yes.
It's starting to look like banking is less about being a repository of your money, but rather providing some advisory services. Paul, what sort of wealth management solutions are available for these businesses that Kombo is speaking about to, enable them and indeed their owners as well make the right investment decisions?
Yeah, so we recognize one very important fact that, family-owned businesses want to, have been very good in creating wealth. And as a bank, we want to support them so that we help that wealth continue growing and get preserved. But also, we also recognize that the owners of those family-owned businesses, the entrepreneurs, the chairman, the president, also has individual needs of their own. So as Standard Chartered, we look at it in those two prongs, and our wealth capabilities cut across the two. And we look at it in our framework that we use for advisory that looks at today, tomorrow, and forever. Today is about liquidity, is about sustenance, is about how does the business see the next day, how does an entrepreneur continue running. And we provide solutions that are cash-like, that helps to sustain the cash, which is the bloodline of a business. Yeah. Tomorrow is about growth, and we understand that entrepreneurs are very good in capturing market opportunities, seeing what is out there and really going for it, creating businesses. But also we see that we need to help them create another source of income, which could be in different currencies and different geographies, so that they diversify their wealth and it's not only located in one area, in one line of economy. And of course, the forever conversation, which is a topic of conversation now that we are having about legacy. So we are asking ourselves, these entrepreneurs are good in getting the market out there, but who will help them to be able to transfer that business and the wealth that they have created to the next generation and get that going generation after generation? Now, we observe that businesses are having a very good run, making a lot of money, but at the point of transition, that business does not seize the next generation, or the next generation gets it and they don't have the expertise to actually run their business. So some of the advisory we have is, can you allow some professionals, the CEOs and the CFOs and the risk officers and the IT people to be professionals, and then the family becomes the shareholders and they can be able to earn dividends out of this company, of which then we help them with investment solutions. So those are some of the things that we are doing. But the point that Kombo has made here is that we do have the expertise to help the businesses navigate the landscape and get it to the next generation.
Yeah, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about legacy planning and what that looks like. I know you've touched on that a little bit. Usually very difficult to get family-owned businesses to, loosen the restraints and, and the reins on businesses that they have grown literally from the bottom up. Now, we've heard that there are certain mistakes and challenges that family businesses, run along the way. Bernard, what are some of those common challenges that family-owned businesses and their leaders face?
Okay, thanks. So, you see, entrepreneurs face so many challenges. And the good thing with them and why they're entrepreneurs, they're able to innovate and find ways of solving for those challenges. But there's one common challenge that faces all of them, which is legacy planning. How do you plan for the next generation to be able to take up your business? And you'll find in most situations, for example, you are the entrepreneur, you have 3 children that you want to be with this business to, but is only one interested in running the business, but the rest are not interested in running your business. How then do you ensure that as you transfer this business to the next generation, the 2 children or the 2 kids who are not interested in running the business, they don't feel left out, or you don't leave behind fights within the siblings? And we have put in place very good solutions to be able to help the entrepreneurs as they transition the business. They're able to transfer that business to a child who loves running the business, and those that don't want to run the business, you can still be able to transfer wealth to them without necessarily transferring the business. So that's one of the most common challenges facing entrepreneurs. And as a bank, we are well prepared to support businesses to be able to overcome this challenge.
Yeah, so it's really basically is in legacy planning, isn't it?
Yes.
So Paul, what is the solution? And what sort of support measures do you have for legacy planning?
Okay, so we look at it in three phases. Obviously today, which is when you're actually there actively running the business. Then we look at it after, that is when you have said, okay, now I don't want to run the business, or life has it that you are no longer there. And then long before, so that those are the second and third generation. So research is showing us that 70% of wealth in family-owned businesses and in high-net-worth individuals get lost in the second generation, and 90% of it in the third generation. So it's called the third generation curse. Yeah. And really, then we are saying, how do we create the structure when you are alive to ensure that you're actually starting to let go some of the things that you do so that your children start picking up. And there's a question of transfer of wealth, but also there's a transfer of responsibilities and expertise into your children so that they are capable of taking over the business. The other thing that we do is then when you're not there, how does wealth transfer? So we have solutions around insurance. Insurance is a fantastic solution for transferring wealth immediately after, because it doesn't go through the court process. For the wealth to, if you have nominated so and so will get X, they get X. And that quickly gives the liquidity that is required to solve some of the challenges that the business may face when the president, the chairman, the co-founder is not there. And some of them could be even some fictitious lawsuits, which people come for your business when you're not there, right? Yeah. So the family has liquidity to be able to deal with that. And of course, the questions of ensuring that there's proper wills, there's proper structures, there's a trust, and of course, this is expertise that we seek from the legal partners we work with, so that again, it's very clear what will happen in generation after generation after generation. And some of this conversation then becomes, what did the founder, the owner, the chairman intend to happen long after they have exited the scene? Yeah. So those structures that are there, and what we are helping our clients do is to show them that you can do your banking in Kenya and use some of the solutions here, but also we expose them to the rest of the globe, where we have other hubs that are more sophisticated, and they have been learning wealth transfer for more generations. So they have the expertise and experience to deal with some of these problems. So, we got it all. Standard Chaterted, as I said, has been there for a period of time, and therefore the solutioning is not a big question. For us, is how do we get the conversation so that family-owned business are conscious of that risk that they face around when they are transferring their wealth to the next generation. Yeah,
and the time to start legacy planning is when?
It's now. Now is the time, yeah.
Not when you're transitioning?
Absolutely, it's now. Okay. Absolutely.
All right, thank you both. Bernard Kombo and Paul Njoki from Standard Chartered Bank. Interesting statistics about how 70% of wealth is lost from one transition to the next. Yep. Wouldn't it be a shame for you to spend hours, invest your money, build a business, build it up literally by the bootstraps, only for it to be lost? And like we say with planning, with everything, you don't wait until the moment is before you to start planning. You start planning for your legacy now. And those solutions are available here for you locally and internationally as well. Many thanks to you, Paul Njoki and Bernard Kombo from Standard Chartered Bank, on guiding us on just how to plan for your business even as you grow your wealth. That's Power Talk this week.